This video is part of a series called 3 Scary True Stories, and this one is called 3 Scary Sleepover Stories. Let's begin. The first story is called The Figure in Black. When I was 14, my best friend and I were having a sleepover at my house. We were watching TV and eating popcorn when we started hearing scratching and banging noises outside. We went to investigate, and that's when we saw the most terrifying thing. Standing in the darkness in the woods behind our house was a person dressed in all black, staring directly at us. My friend and I screamed and ran inside the house. I locked all the doors and called 911, but the police found nothing. 2 weeks later, my friend and I were having another sleepover. We were watching a movie when we heard a loud bang. We looked out the window and saw someone's face. They were peering over our backyard fence, and it was the same spot where we had seen the man 2 weeks earlier. My friend and I started screaming again, and I called 911 once more. But when the police arrived, they found nothing. The third time was the scariest. My friend and I were getting ready for bed when we heard loud banging noises. Again, we looked out the window and saw the same face. Then, it disappeared. We waited a few minutes, and then we heard footsteps near our back door. My friend and I started to cry, and we called 911. As the police were searching our house, my friend and I hid in my closet. After the police left without finding anything, the incident stopped. The second story is called The Grunting Intruder. When I was 14, I had a friend named Jesse. One day we were home alone and decided to have a sleepover. We were playing video games when we heard a noise upstairs. We both ignored it, assuming it was just a bird or something. Then we started hearing loud grunting sounds coming from one of the bedrooms. My friend and I looked at each other in horror. We quietly left the house through the back door and called the police. While we were waiting outside for the police, I shone my flashlight into the bedroom window and saw a man crouched down. The police arrived and searched the house, but the intruder was gone. When we went to check the damage, we found a tall man, about 6'5", had left the backyard. He had taken a bag of clothes and some money from my parents' bedroom, and my desktop computer had been turned on. The third story is called The Pushing Fence. When I was 12 years old, I had a sleepover at my friend Calvin's house. We decided to pitch a tent in the backyard and sleep over in that. In the middle of the night, I was awoken to the sound of a rattling, creaking fence. I shook Calvin awake, and we got out of the tent to investigate. As I turned on the light, I saw a person leaning on the fence, pushing it. Immediately, I turned the light off and dove back into the tent. As I was getting out of the tent to run inside the house, Calvin screamed. He had gotten out of the tent to investigate and saw someone standing right by the side of the tent. We spent the rest of the night in Calvin's room. That was 3 Scary True Sleepover Stories by Mr. Nightmare. And if you want to hear more scary stories, stay tuned for more content.